Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Direct Recap Show here on Nintendo Pow Block. I am your host, Corey Garrigan. Alongside me, as always, is that retro code Eddie V.
Yeah! Man, this Nintendo Direct was everything I wanted. Hello, everybody.
Everything, Ed? Everything?
Dude, there might be some omissions for some stuff, but the way they begin it, some of the games in the middle part, and the way they clown at the end with a certain title, dude. And then the box art for the last game.
Yeah.
I need a frame. I need this poster, and I need it framed.
We'll get there. We'll get there. Also joining us is the Mad Pharmacist himself, Stephanie Klimov.
There's no more tears left for me to cry. Hey-o.
Well, we're here. It's been a while since we've done one of these. We missed the Splatoon one, but that's okay because we got a metric ton of stuff to talk about tonight.
Yeah, Ed, what was the number again?
49 games.
49 games.
That's ridiculous. That's too many games. But before we get to that, I mean, what were our initial thoughts on this Direct? I mean, I had some expectations. I tried to go in with no expectations, but we all know that can't ever happen. And, we saw a lot of cool things. We saw a lot of great games. We saw a lot of new games, a lot of updates on current games, and release dates, finally, for many of the games we've been waiting on.
Well, see, that's the thing. Like, if I were to have put my expectations on there, I probably would have been a little disappointed in this Direct. But because I just went into it just locking those expectations in the rumor closet, I have the opposite. I thought it was a good Direct because, like you said, it had a lot of new announcements, like new games, a great roadmap, some ports. I don't agree with the cloud stuff, but overall, lots of ports.
Cloud games don't count.
Yep. And lots of updates. Like, there was something for everyone. Yes, we can make the joke that almost everything's a farming sim, but there is still more than that. So I think this was a fantastic Direct that Nintendo fans have been waiting since like February or whatever.
Yeah, definitely. Ed, what about you? What do you
I went in with no expectations. I did though when the second reveal of the show happened, and me and you was talking about it, Corey.
Mm-hmm.
It happened. It was, I can't wait to see what people say if they're gonna buy it. I still feel like it's still too late, but it's there and everything. But when certain games came on there, and then like some of the announcements that came on there, like Front Mission 3 is getting remade. I'm like, wait, what? Like, I literally text LaRon, which is like, dude, they just announced Front Mission 3 coming to Switch next year. Like, those games were supposed to be out already, but I'm like, oh, Square Enix is clowning. They're going in hard on this. Because me and Corey did a special pass about Square Enix really supporting Nintendo Switch. And
sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. But the thing the thing that we said is like Square's doing a really interesting. They clearly have a clear path of what they want to do, right? They clearly are making their AAA, quadruple A, big budget, beautiful, like realistic type graphical games for PlayStation 5, right? Like that's what they want to do. And then they're doing their small experimental stuff and 2D HD stuff with Switch, and they're really milking this HD 2D stuff though. I gotta tell you, between Octopath and Live Alive and the Dragon Quest 3 remake that's coming, and whatever else they're putting out, they're really milking that art style.
Yeah, they are.
But it's working, so.
All right. There was one game that was very unexpected. And we would get to that one because someone had words for it. And I'm going to leave it at that. But I love this Direct. It had everything. I knew the Mario Kart DLC was going to be shown or something, but I didn't expect them to give us like only 2 tracks for this. Like the other times they talked about the waves, they gave us like all both tracks and everything, and they were just like, no, we're just gonna give you 2 and that's it. I'm like, wait, what?
Mm-hmm.
So that leads to maybe we get another direct this year. Game Awards, who knows what's going? Because even though there were all the reveals yet, there's still some stuff coming through that we could wait for. And everybody,
Yeah.
Pikmin 4.
Mm-hmm.
Me,
We'll get there.
Oh goodness, because I
Ed
told
is
everybody.
just like brimming.
I know.
He's just overflowing.
Fun fact. Fun fact about Pikmin 4. Pikmin 4 was one of the first games Ed and I ever talked about besides Breath of the Wild because it was announced for Wii U. And it was like, if you go all the way back to one of our, like probably the first 10 or 15 episodes, we talked about Pikmin 4.
And you heard it here first, folks.
And how we were like, wow, you could use like the tablet for certain stuff. And we really hope it goes back to Pikmin 1. And, you know, the Wii remotes are like, Pikmin's the only game worth using those on. You know, so
but there was a certain item that I ordered, and even though Anuma didn't show up, I wish Nintendo did what they did with the Pikmin T-shirt for Anuma's Zelda shirts, because I would have crashed. I would have crashed the Nintendo store.
I wish there was a store where you could buy all these cool shirts that they're wearing, because they're not selling them, and makes me upset.
Besides Miyamoto's shirt, they were selling on Nintendo.com.
What?
That's where I bought my shirt.
Miyamoto's shirt, the one he was wearing today?
Yeah. Yep. You can buy it.
That Pikmin shirt seemed to be like the only thing Nintendo was willing to sell and not make just 10 of them. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, they had a female and a male shirt, $24.99. So I put my order in, just like doot doot doot, and purchased. So that's why I was just like, because the thing about Anuma when he comes in, I always look forward to what shirt is Anuma wear for Zelda, and how can I buy it? Yeah. But then he got his haircut, and he was all daddy, and everybody.
Oh, he was looking fresh.
He was looking so fresh, and just everybody was just like, "Oh, okay, yeah, we understand with the delay." But dang,
yeah,
I'm just like he was looking top tier. But I hope Anuma comes back in. I think he's going to be the one that's going to talk about the next Zelda when it comes to the direct, maybe next year or maybe sometime in the future.
Spring direct, they'll really ramp it up for May. It's perfect timing.
Yeah. So my thought was they'll probably have some sort of Bayonetta dedicated direct. They'll have a Pokemon Presents before Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and then they'll have
another one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So many Pokemon Presents. I'm sorry,
but they got a lot to say apparently. And then they'll do a Fire Emblem direct either the first week of January or right before like Christmas or whatever. And then after Fire Emblem, I bet they'll have a really big spring direct at the end of January, early February. That's my prediction.
And that's where we'll see like the gameplay trailer. That's where Anuma, I think, will show up.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, yeah. They're going to do a Zelda specific direct probably, right? I mean, that seems pretty...
That's only if we're holding out on hope for the Twilight Princess Wind Waker stuff. You think they do a direct just for the... Oh, yeah, I guess they could do a direct just for the one game.
Yeah, but my theory was they would put out a game this fall, and they would put out a game in the spring and delay the new Zelda. I can't call it Breath of the Wild 2 anymore because it has a title now, which it doesn't roll off the tongue like Breath of the Wild does, but
no,
whatever, it's fine. And then that would be the big fall game next year was my big thought, but clearly I was wrong because we did not get any of the games I predicted would be here. Ed, a couple weeks ago when we talked about the Metroid Prime remaster, the Wind Waker, Twilight Princess games, the only game that showed up was Fire Emblem, which I'm super excited.
It's not like you guys were making the wackiest predictions. I mean, everyone else seemed to really think that those particular ones were going to happen.
Yeah.
Metroid and the other
Yeah.
Zelda stuff.
And the other rumor was the Donkey Kong game that the Mario team is supposedly working on. So
yeah. But when we were talking about It Takes Two, for Pow Block, I was just like, I thought it wasn't going to happen or anything, and I said if it did happen, I don't think anyone's going to support it because, and I know people say I have a thing against the creator of that. I
which
didn't
is
that in.
pretty true though.
Yeah, but I kind of felt like if people didn't play it, I mean, some people did play it and everything, but it came and went like no one. It came out and nobody talked about it. So that's why they was confused why Game of the Year went to that and not Metroid Dread, because everybody was, or a lot of people were talking about Metroid Dread, but it was whether it was controversy or people talking about speed running or just enjoying the game. That game got so much press. So why did it get ignored? And It Takes Two won something that no one, maybe people, not no one, I said a lot of people didn't play or really stream or like talk about. So, but it's coming to Switch.
Yep.
Good for that game. Hopefully people enjoy it.
Yep. Cool. So I guess we'll start with the big elephant in the room, because I'm pretty sure it's the game we all want to talk about, and that's Just Dance 2020. No, I'm just kidding. It's The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom. So
I have no problem with the title, but it definitely does not roll off the tongue as smoothly. Tears
no, it does
of the
not.
Kingdom.
No, it does
what
not.
What if it's Tears of the Kingdom?
I know. My friend Emily texted me today. She's like, "Is it tears or tears? Are they crying or are they ripping?" And then I was like, I didn't think about that, but now I don't know.
Right?
Now I don't know, because both would make sense, I guess, because like
yes.
So slight spoilers for the trailer. If you're trying to do media blackout, I guess skip ahead like, I don't know, an hour and a half, I guess. So the engraving, the rock engraving that they showed at the beginning, right, was they showed like this figure kind of looked like a scary rabbit thing.
Yeah, it was very rabbit-like. Probably a dragon.
Yeah, but then they showed like a girl floating with her hair falling, right, which very emblematic of that first trailer where we saw Zelda fall, right?
See, I thought that was Zelda 2. That was my first knee-jerk reaction. But then, what if that's also the mummified Ganondorf? Because he also had long hair, and he was horizontal.
That's also fair. So, I mean, like, you could be crying, but then there's that whole, like, thing where they're tearing through reality maybe with time travel. I don't know, because there's clearly different Links in this game, or different forms of Link, or... You know, I still think time travel is a big part of this game. I think there's Ocarina, Twilight Princess, and Skyward Sword all wrapped up in this game somewhere.
Yes.
And, I mean, the Skyward Sword stuff is very clearly there. The Twilight Princess stuff is very clearly there. It's in the logo. I don't care what anybody says. It's there in the logo, right? And then, like, the time travel... Somebody save me. Stephanie, you're a huge Zelda fan. What were your thoughts of this trailer and the name and the date?
Massive. Okay, so date, cool, fine with. So the trailer, in the beginning, it had the I don't know if it's a scroll or a rock carving, which was cool, but at the same time, I was thinking, oh, it's like Breath of the Wild when everything else was painted on scrolls. Okay, so maybe there's just a new lore or legend that they're introducing. Looks like some sort of deity, which is unfamiliar to us, because the only deities we know were like the three goddesses from like the Ocarina of Time and Hylia. At first I thought it was a scary rabbit, but, you know, but from my past experience, it could be interpreted as a dragon, but I don't know. This is purely my speculation. And another image or shot was that there are 7 orbs around it, and there could be ways. My first thing, when I counted 7, I'm like, 7 sages. The sages are coming back. But then I read another article like, oh, maybe they're the tears that are in the title. I'm like, that's stupid, but makes more sense. But I'm really hoping It's a Sages. I don't know.
So, but I was thinking these are these are the beta versions of the Triforce, and the reason being is because of I feel like that Triforce is going to be the way that they get the Master Sword back to what it is, back into its normal state.
I mean, like these 7 things eventually make up the Triforce?
Yes, or these are the 7 pieces of the Triforce that this new civilization had, but no one knew about. Because I really think that in the sky, because it looks like they're introducing owls to play a big part in the Zelda game, in a sense, because it's the sky. So if there's another civilization that Zelda didn't know, Zelda and Link or Hyrule people didn't know, this is the time that they're going to find out about them. And what they have, it was too late for the dad to tell Zelda that, yes, I knew people in the sky, but something happened and I wasn't able to tell you about them. It's something that we kept off limits and everything. So there's something about the Triforce speaking to me about that.
Okay. Definitely possible. But as far as references to the other games, yeah, I got so much Skyward Sword vibes. I mean, a lot of it's the obvious, just him immediately leaping and that motion where he's just bombs away, like that's Skyward Sword. And I know I'm going to get hate for this, but as much as Skyward Sword's story was fantastic, it's not my favorite Zelda game.
Not a lot of people's favorite.
And I'm like, I wonder if this is going to be kind of like just Skyward Sword if it was done right. I hope it's more than just that. My hope is that it's more Twilight Princess focused, but I feel like it's too on the nose for me to guess that the green has anything to do with the actual Twilight. Maybe it just might be Twilight inspired,
Yeah.
I think the green has something to do with technology, though.
Yeah.
That's what I mean.
Or like, I mean, if you're going to play with like time travel, you could also be playing with interdimensional stuff too, which would play into Twilight Princess indirectly too, I don't know. I had my heart set on Twilight Princess being announced today and being so excited, and then because I want to unplug my Wii U so bad. But yeah, I don't know. Like I just see so much Twilight Princess in this game, down to even like, look at the sword and the logo. It has the green, line, like layered lines in it and stuff, which I know is not necessarily Twilight Princess, but it just hits so hard. And yeah, I don't know, man. I loved how the trailer, like after the scrolls, which by the way, when the scroll opened, I thought it was Wind Waker. I thought they were showing Wind Waker at first, because Wind Waker opens like that, but it was a little bit darker and too textured for Wind Waker's opening. But then the door opens and he just runs out and jumps off the cliff, and it's just like this game is massive. Like if they're going to use the map from the first game and just layer on top of it and underneath it, like this game's going to be so massive. In the trailer running at 60 frames a second, which I don't know. I
do worry.
Yeah, I have a lot of fear, I guess, but also I trust Nintendo to make sure their games run on their consoles. And since they're not developing for Wii U, like this is the only console they're developing for, theoretically, right now, unless we get some sort of revision in the spring.
Like I was telling you, Corey, I'm like, Anuma talked to Monolith Soft. Like for them to even get like something like Xenoblade Chronicles X to run on Wii U, and then to get the way that Xenoblade Chronicles 3 is looking and how they're getting that game running. Oh, Monolith Soft knew some tricks, and Anuma had to talk to them and be like, "You guys know something. How do you come and help us figure out how we could get stuff smoothed out and have a better game?
Yeah,
like let's fix all the technical problems so that." Yeah, we do need some patches. It'll fix some stuff up, but we want to make sure that people have a smooth experience right out the gate.
I Yeah, I hope that like, man, there's some areas in there where I'm like, man, you could go in there. There could be some sort of cave in there that you could just explore and find things in there.
Mm-hmm.
I really hope that when he like shoves those doors open that he's leaving a dungeon. Like I like that's the one thing, well, it's one of like three things about Breath of the Wild that I didn't really care for was like there's not the traditional dungeons. And like I said on previous episodes, like they could have traditional dungeons and that's the way you get unbreakable versions of those weapons, right? Where like,
Mm-hmm.
okay, well, you can go get the boomerang, right? And you can find boomerangs in the world, no problem. But if you want the unbreakable one, you go into these dungeons, and maybe they're a little bit harder than like normal Zelda dungeons. But like, look at the reward you get, you know.
Yeah.
And I think that's a way they could do it without breaking the immersion of, hey, you can go do whatever you want, however you want, whenever you want, you know. So.
Yeah. But I will say this: when I take my fan hat off because I was screaming bloody murder during this entire thing. But now that it's over and things are settling, and I rewatch them, like technically there really isn't too much that we can get from it other than just additional speculation. It doesn't give me the same spine tingling feeling back when we saw that very famous trailer for the original, the Breath of the Wild, like where you got like a little bit of the story, like there's like we didn't see any more of the mummified Ganondorf quote unquote corpse. You know, we haven't seen any battles with enemies, if you've noticed. Like, I mean, we've seen the Bokoblins on top of the Talus, but I think that's it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So there's just honestly still much more. And my only last thing, sorry, just one last thing.
Oh.
I love Breath of the Wild, but I'm afraid of games getting too big, and that includes Zelda. Sorry, go ahead, Ed.
Well, I think them showing the enemies is going to play a part in more of the plot. So they're still hiding. Yes, we don't know who the actual mummy is, but we don't even know who is the new villains in this game.
Mm-hmm.
Because if we're going to introduce a new place like this, we're going to introduce some new villains. And I think Anuma and the team is just like, we still keeping things under wraps because we want to make sure that everything is just right and surprise everybody who and what they're going to fight. We want to introduce you to this new, the Yaga clan, or is it the Yiga clan or
the Yiga clan?
The Yiga clan. They may have evolved, so there might be someone who split off from the Yiga clan and created something else. So now that they're not tempted by bananas, they're tempted by something else.
Yeah.
So there's a lot of factors, and shoot, who knows the Lost Woods? Like, what has the Lost Woods transformed into as time passed?
That's true, because I slowed down part of the trailer, and I think like Death Mountain's really effed up. Like, it's really not looking good.
Yeah, well, that's what I was telling Ed earlier. Is like parts of this map, like if there's time travel involved, you're gonna get multiple versions of this map where like, oh, Death Mountain is decimated in this map, but when you go back, there's like a thriving Goron community. Or you go, you know, what if the Zora Palace is gone? Or, you know, where are the Divine Beasts on one of the maps? You don't like, you know what I mean? Like, you don't know. Like in the last trailer, we saw the castle lift off the ground. So what does that mean? And so I'm with you, Stephanie. I hope this game is not extremely big. Like the Breath of the Wild was already massive, and I just hope that they, not that I'm not going to play this game because it looks amazing.
Right,
already,
we're going to play no matter what.
But I just want this. I hope they know what they're doing.
I kind of do want it big, but if they're going to make it big, I want the rewards to mean something. I want the rewards to really like play a part in how I'm building my Link that I'm controlling. Like, it's the weapons that I get. Is it permanent? Is it like this is the only place that you can get this weapon? Is my outfit going to actually make sure that I take less damage, or maybe it helped me cook better or something? Is this version of if I put this gear on my version of Epona, is it going to help me in battles? Like if I'm going to go out and search for this thing and put the story and everything to the side, I hope the rewards are worth it.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Nintendo's going to be like, we don't want to do the Assassin's Creed nonsense. We
Yep.
want to make sure that we have an open world. Stay true to where if you go somewhere, you could go there, but you have to figure out how you're going to get there and how you're going to survive if you want that reward. They want to stay true to that, but they just want to open it a little bit bigger. Because if you're out in the sky, I feel like there's going to be some places in the sky that we don't know about that might contribute to something that the people of Hyrule didn't know that was there that could help them. So,
Yep.
Yeah. Tears of the Kingdom. I always have to think about it when I say it because it's just like we've been calling it for Breath of the Wild 2 for so long. I think that some of us kind of hoped that it would be called that or some version of that. But yeah, The Legend of Zelda, Tears of the Kingdom, May 12th, 2023.
One last question.
can
Go ahead. You first, Ed.
can I say one last thing?
No.
So the first trailer, when Hyrule Castle got lifted up into the air,
Yep.
I think that's why people call it. I think that's where the Tears of the Kingdom come from. I think people are crying for that castle because they can't reach that castle. That castle was hope, but that castle now might be full of death. And losing Zelda, losing the castle, losing this hope, whatever that castle meant to the people of Hyrule, they're crying for it.
You know what I'm crying for? A playable Zelda. Where's she at?
Yeah. You know what? Maybe. I'm still holding out a hope. I don't think it's likely, but sorry, one last speculation because
It's fine.
it literally has zero connection. It's just my brain trying to find a connection. Another screenshot of the scroll is they pan over and there's that same Zelda looking like character. Like I can't do it like with her arm like this and someone else's arm is like this.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what if that other person was like Link and you could like tag team? I know I'm totally reaching, but there's like that 10% chance she might be a playable character. 10%.
I mean, there's a chance. Like, what if? Okay, new theory. So we already know that this is probably the middle point of a trilogy.
Now I got the theory after y'all theory.
Nope. Listen.
You just mentioned that.
What if Link is trapped above ground and Zelda is trapped below ground, and you swap between them to explore the different areas of the game?
Exactly. I can be on board with that.
What if Zelda was supposed to marry Ganon?
Oh no. Okay.
Because hold on. Because the thing about it is because we don't see that person. Normally at a wedding, people swap cakes when they're married. So what if Zelda was supposed to marry somebody and something happened? What if that person was supposed to be Ganon?
Gross. But it's possible. All right, so this is my last question for y'all for this. Do you think there's going to be any accessories that will be announced along with the game, like a new iteration of the OLED or controllers?
There will
like
be
Joy-Cons?
I bet there's a Pro Controller, I bet there's an OLED Switch, and I bet there is a line of Amiibo.
And Joy-Cons.
See, I think the Joy-Cons will be part of the OLED Switch. I think that's the only way you're going to be able to get them. Just like Splatoon.
I think they'll probably sell some separate ones because I feel like that green and the white might be playing off each other or something.
Man,
for the white to be the sky, the green to be the technology that's in it. You know, will they have gold trimmings or anything like that? That I would have to. I think once we get another reveal, like and we start seeing symbols and everything, I think that's going to probably be on the controller or something. Now, if I could get a white and gold Zelda Pro controller, the folks that we're going to have to fight to get one.
Mm.
I know a lot of people don't like white, but think about it: a white controller with whatever design that they want to put on it. Pro controller, oh, folks gonna act a fool to go get that.
Hey, it's possible. There's a Pro controller based off of the Ocarina of Time, and it's black and gold. So, anyway.
Yeah, I'm look, if whatever accessories come out for this thing, I will do things for this that I don't know.
Yes, I will do many things to be able to get those things.
Yes.
Anyway.
I would just want those amiibos. So,
what
Best Buy?
What are the amiibo going to be though? That's the
one's
thing.
going to be the primal Link or whatever version of Link with the arm, claw, hand. But other than that, I can't tell. Like, I don't know if the champions are going to be involved. I don't know if they're going to be sages involved. Like, it depends on.
I hope they don't just re-release the Breath of the Wild ones. They've got to release new ones, right? Splatoon release new ones.
I hope there's a Tingle one.
Oh no! All right, on that note. On that note, we are moving on.
Wait.
The Legend of Zelda: Tears of the Kingdom, May 12th, 2023. Where do we go from here? I mean, that's the thing I think we were all the most excited and ready to hear about. Although,
we gotta go to Fire Emblem Engage.
Okay.
Yeah, Fire Emblem,
because them starting the show. I was telling Corey that it looks like they're going back to the old school, like the old look of it, but so polished and clean because intelligence system is doing this. Koei Tecmo was not involved at this at all,
which is crazy.
So
well, we don't know that for sure yet, but yeah, I mean, this definitely does not look like Three Houses at all. This is definitely like we're going back to like Awakening, Conquest, like the old school kind of right when they started doing like the character link up stuff, and this looks like a hardcore strategy RPG. I hate the name and I hate the font that they used for the name, but I think like bringing back fan favorite characters and putting them in the story in a way that makes sense, summoning them. The main character kind of reminds me of Shez from Fire Emblem Warriors a little bit, just because of the multicolored hair, but this is definitely more prominent.
Someone was calling them the toothpaste protagonist. I'm like, oh wow.
I mean the story is just like a generic insert name here, insert continent here. Four kingdoms are battling for this holy land. Like that's definitely Fire Emblem to a T. The dragon stuff is there, right, where your character is the divine dragon and you come from a long lineage of dragons who defend the holy land or whatever, and it's just like look, it's more Fire Emblem. I'm in. I know that Fire Emblem's not for everybody, but this Fire Emblem's for me. So I'm here for the cutscenes, and I kind of enjoyed the voice. Like I'm definitely going to get this one. Me and Corey was talking about. I keep saying me and Corey because me and Corey talking a lot about Nintendo, but we were talking about what is the January game for 2023. And we're thinking it's a port. I'm thinking like, hey, it could possibly be it could be Persona 4 Golden. It could be Advance Wars. It could be anything. So to lead 2023 with this game, if there's nothing from no other company coming out, the only people that we would have to worry about would be Microsoft. But who knows what they're gonna do. Yeah.
But this is like the leading game for January. So whether people like it or not, like the Nintendo was starting their year off with Fire Emblem. And if you enjoyed this game, regardless of what you think of the art style and everything, you may get something out of this story. Just because this is a fresh trailer, it's going to probably be something very deep and something unexpected that you did not know about. Because the same thing happened with Three Houses. that people just like, oh, it looks good. I may get it or not, and then got into it and didn't realize on how deep that story was for that game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I am really interested to see how characters interact in this game. I'm really interested to see how the battle system works. Are they going back to the rock, paper, scissors style? Like, in the 3DS versions, they had like the triangle system where like the red, green, blue, plus you had to match up, somebody riding a horse versus somebody with a sword, like the rock, paper, scissors style combat. I wonder if they're going to go back to that or if they're going to stick with the simplified version from Three Houses, which I kind of hope they do because the triangle system from the DS versions were very, I think it was a little bit too complicated and kind of prevented more people from getting in, even though, Awakening it sold like a bajillion units. But yeah, Fire Emblem Engage, January 20th, 2023. Anybody else have anything else to say about?
No, not particularly. I'm not. I haven't gotten into the Fire Emblem universe, but I was impressed with what I saw, and I think the timing of the announcement and the release is good because I think Fire Emblem has really built some momentum.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm happy for those that are excited for it. I'm excited for them.
I want to see the box art.
Yeah. The art style is like, it's definitely not as washed out as Fire Emblem Three Houses. It definitely looks cleaner, like Ed said. So, yeah. So where are we going next?
What we keep picking like the big hits. So let's get all the big ones out of the way. Pikmin 4, man.
Yeah, Pikmin 4. Very excited for Pikmin 4. It's definitely on my list of things to get next year.
So I have a question. Are they back on Earth?
Yeah, that's where the games, all of them take place on Earth.
I thought all of them was on a different planet.
Mm-mm. They're all on Earth. Like, you're an alien, and you crash land on a mysterious planet, but it's Earth. The mysterious planet is Earth.
Oh, because you was trying to get stuff to get your ship back together so you could fly back to Earth.
That's why you find like Duracell batteries and like strawberries and Earth food, because you're on Earth.
But can I just say, I loved how it opened because it was presenting Miyamoto, and he talked a little bit about the Mario movies. So I was like, "Oh, trailer? No trailer."
That was my initial thought too. Was when they brought him on, I thought that they were going to show the movie.
He mentioned the movie too, but they never showed a trailer. So I'm like, all right, why'd you bother mentioning it? No offense. They're still working on the Super Mario World or whatever in Hollywood. And then he talks about the Pikmin mobile game, which I thought was cute. I'll never use it, but it's cute. It's a more fun way to track your steps, apparently. Mm-hmm. And then Pikmin 4. So,
Yeah, I like build it up. So I like how they're going in a more like, it looks like a suburban area, right? Because there's the park bench and there's the sandbox and there's the fence all the way around, and I think that could add a really interesting dynamic to it where you're not just climbing over broken trees or under rocks or whatever. You're actually like in a world where people are living. Like, I think that could add a really cool dynamic, and you could find like pennies or paper clips or like stuff that we use every day. I think that's a really cool dynamic. And the most exciting thing that he said was they're getting back to like the simplified version of Pikmin, which means they're going back to Pikmin 1 and 2, right? And then they're adding this what they call it, a Pikmin, I forget what they called it, but like some sort of mode where you actually get lower to the ground, almost to the Pikmin's point of view.
I think it's like over the shoulder, like third party, like Pikmin view, something like that.
Yeah, and so that's super exciting. It's called the Pikmin deployment mechanic, which is suggesting that players will engage in a mode much closer to the ground, which is kind of an interesting take because it's always been like this isometric kind of game that you can like turn the camera and face at different directions, but it's pretty isometric. So yeah,
I feel like it'll be more immersive.
yeah, definitely. And I wonder if they're trying to, because Microsoft has Grounded, right? That kind of Honey I Shrunk the Kids style game. I wonder if they're going to try to aim at that crowd a little bit.
Hey, is there Pikmin emoji? I mean, not emoji. Woo, amiibo.
Yeah, there's two.
Yeah,
there was one. There was one for Hey Pikmin, which I have, and then there's the Captain Olimar Smash Brothers one.
Okay. Yeah, maybe we'll see another one. Who knows?
That'd be great. I hope it's not one of them big, ugly, ladybug on two legs sort of things.
Oh, the main enemy. That thing is funny.
I hate those things
because I love them because we do throw 15 Pikmin on
It's true.
So funny.
It's very true. I wonder if they're going to bring the rock. I wonder if they're going to bring the other 3 types back. The rock,
that's what
the poison, and what were the purple ones? I forget what the purple ones did.
Oh, dang it!
I bet they. I like. Part of me likes the pure.
I think the purple ones were stronger ones. I think they was able to live because the white ones was the poisonous ones.
Yeah,
right?
But they also had the rock Pikmin that were maybe they were better in battle. I don't know. Part of me just wants the pureness of the red, yellow, and blue ones.
I kind of wonder if they're going to add more. Like, are we going to get an orange Pikmin?
I bet they add more. I bet they retool
more colors.
I bet they retool the ones that are available already. Well, like the blue ones were the ones that went underwater, right? And then the red ones were the ones that could walk through fire. And I forget what the yellow ones did, but like they all have a specific purpose, which is cool, right? I hope they kind of retool some of them and kind of give a better direction of what each one does, because like that's why I didn't really care for 3, is because like you had 3 different pilots that you had to control, and each one had to have a specific team, and then you got into the Pikmin of like, oh well, they need more blue ones than red ones or whatever, and it got like really convoluted and
too much.
Yeah, it was too much, man. 3 was too much, so I hope they go back to the one.
It's a beautiful game though.
It is. It's one of the best looking Wii U games. It looks better than most of the Switch games too, to be honest with you. So if you haven't played Pikmin 3 Deluxe, look at some screenshots.
Yeah.
All right. So Pikmin just has a generic 2023 release date planned. I'm guessing it's going to be early spring, maybe March or April, kind of fall in there. That's my guess. Not 100% sure. But anyways, Octopath Traveler 2. Another big hitter.
Oh, yes. The music, the voice acting, though, and like and people are happy because now the stories are going intertwined with each other and everything. Because I think people feel like that was a problem with the first game. I'm like, well, that was a new IP. This was something completely new for Square Enix. So, I can understand them making mistakes or seeing what they can improve. But yeah, I'm so excited for this game. Surprisingly, though, that it is coming to PC and PlayStation and not Xbox.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, I mean, the first one still hasn't come to PlayStation, so
right,
which is weird to me.
Right, because Xbox has the first one.
I know. I wonder if it's one of those things where once it leaves Game Pass, it'll hit PlayStation. I bet these games come to PlayStation like almost at the same time. Because that 1 year. Sorry, go ahead, Ed.
Oh no, I feel like Octopath Traveler 2 is probably coming to Xbox, but I just don't know when though.
Yeah.
I was just shocked that that they announced it after and everything.
Yeah. They also announced a collector's edition for this game too. So that's going to be really hard and fun to get if you guys want to try to get that.
Shoot, that Fire Emblem collection is going to be hard to get.
I know. I'm not even bothering with this stuff anymore. I can't, Look, if I can just get the game, then I'm fine. If there's cool amiibo, I might get them, right? But yeah.
Yeah. But Octopath Traveler 2, I'm looking forward to.
Yeah. Stephanie, what do you think about Octopath Traveler 2?
I never got into the first one. So I mean, the trailer looked great. I don't know if this definitely won't be day one for me. I'll pay attention to the reviews. If it's something that I can get into just by starting Octopath Traveler 2 in itself, maybe I'll check it out. But I just tend to not really engage with a lot of these type of like RPGs just because I know they're a big time suck, and I already have other games that are still waiting to be played and will be played. So I don't know too much to add to it, but I hope it does well. I heard mixed things about the first one, so.
Yeah, the first one was definitely more aesthetically pleasing than actually playing the game, but I mean, it was their first shot at this 2D HD, let's go back to hardcore RPG type thing.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe this one will have a better story, less of a grind. That was my problem with the first one, is like it was such a grind. And I don't know if that was to extend the gameplay or whatever, but that game, Octopath Traveler 2, is coming out in February. So Nintendo's got a pretty big pretty big front quarter so far.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So let's talk about this Nintendo 64 expansion pass update, because it's pretty major. One of which is GoldenEye 007 coming to the console with online play, which the Xbox version is not getting, by the way.
I wonder what. Yeah, I wonder what happened with that.
I don't know, but the Xbox version of this game does not have online multiplayer, which is a huge miss. That is a huge miss for Xbox. By the way, anybody who owns Rare Replay on Xbox also gets this game for free as a free update to that experience. So that's cool. But it is coming alongside Mario Party
1, 2, and 3.
Yeah, Mario Party 1, 2, and 3, Excite Bike 64, 1080 snowboarding, Pilot Wing 64, Pokemon Stadium, and Pokemon Stadium 2, which that's quite a bit coming in the next, what they say, 6 months, I think they said.
Yeah.
6 or 8 months. Cool. It's I'm glad that these games are coming. The N64 library is shaping up to be just like, man, I can just
massive.
Get rid of all my Nintendo 64 games.
Yeah, I mean, part of me was like, again, depends on what our expectations are, or hopes and dreams versus reality, right? Like I was hoping maybe Game Boy Advance, or whatever. But just because they didn't show that doesn't mean it was a disappointment. The fact that they provided some substance to Nintendo Switch Online other than DLCs, is welcome. Very much so.
Yeah, and I know GoldenEye is going to be a big deal for a lot of people.
Yeah, that was like one of the first titles that I remember like people asking for, other than the ones that we've already gotten, like Ocarina of Time. So
it was. I know for me it was just like GoldenEye 007 was the first person shooter for consoles. Until Halo came and took over.
Yeah.
So and that was like a really huge jump and everything.
Do you think it's going to be an enjoyable experience though when people actually sit down to play this?
No.
So I think it probably will, in a sense, because a lot of people went for the game for the multiplayer, and I think of course multiplayer has advanced to what it is now. But if people try to go in and think it's going to be like a Call of Duty experience, it's not. It's something that it was something at that time when analog sticks just wasn't the thing yet until the N64. So there was no way to think of how to play a first person shooter, because really, if you want to look at first person shooters for console, Doom on Super Nintendo happened and everything.
Yeah, but this is way different than Doom on Super Nintendo, right?
Yeah.
I mean, because Doom 64 exists also, and that had nowhere near the capability of GoldenEye. My thing is though is with GoldenEye, this might actually be a case where you want to play it with the Pro Controller, because remember, if you plugged in 2 Nintendo 64 controllers, you could play the game like a dual stick shooter, right? but you had to have two Nintendo 64 controllers plugged in and play with them both, which was just not the way to play it. But,
Yes.
it worked, and I wonder, now I doubt it because it's Nintendo, but I wonder if they will somehow format the Switch Pro controller into thinking that you're playing with two joysticks from two separate controllers, and maybe it'll play like a normal shooter.
Probably so. They're including online play for this.
Yeah,
but
maybe hold on. That's so misleading though, because there's online multiplayer for every Nintendo 64 game because all the emulators have.
But I'm saying if they're reworking on that, they may be reworking some other things. So they may try. I'm just saying.
I know, but I'm just saying when they said that had online multiplayer, my eyes rolled back into the back of my head so hard. Speaking of online multiplayer, Splatoon is getting its first Splatfest. So that's exciting. I think it's Deserted Island is the theme, and you could take Gears, Grub, or Fun were your choices. It's coming September 23rd through the 25th that weekend. So they're doing the three-way turf war for this Splatfest, which is cool. I think that three-way turf war thing is really interesting.
Yeah,
it definitely adds a new dynamic to that game. Have you guys been playing Splatoon at all? I feel like I haven't really talked to you guys about it at all.
None.
I played it yesterday for a bit. I'm going to be playing some more, like tomorrow and Thursday. And I've been enjoying it. We won our first multiplayer match and everything because I was just on the side coloring and everything. So I'm probably going to jump into a lot of more matches so I can get stronger and buy different weapons and everything. And everything, but I've been playing it.
Sorry, I've never played Splatoon, never had any interest. However, because my son has been playing Mario Kart nonstop, his main is Link, but now he's been checking out different characters, and now he's been using the Inkling girl, and he's been really sticking with her. And he goes, "Where's she from?" I'm like, "Well, it's from a game called Splatoon." What's Splatoon? So I explained it, and he thought it was so cool. So I showed him a trailer for Splatoon 3, and he's like, "Mommy, I want to play Splatoon." I'm like, "Well, we don't have that game, so chances are we might be playing Splatoon when it's his birthday in a couple weeks."
Cool. I played the demo level, and I played one match, and I was like, man, Splatoon is still Splatoon. It's still Splatoon.
Yeah,
Not that.
Yeah, for me.
Oh, go ahead.
I was like, for me, it would be interesting because I've never played the previous iteration, so for me, it's fresh and new. But like you said, Corey, I don't really know how much different it is from 1 and 2.
Yeah, I mean, it's not. I mean, there's new weapons, right? And there's new gear that you can equip your Inkling with, and you can be the Octolings, and the Salmon Run mode is available all the time now. But overall, it's still that game that came out on Wii U 7 or 8 years ago. Which, don't get me wrong, not bad. If it's not broke, don't fix it. But the campaigns are actually really cool and fun. And the campaign in 3 is kind of you can kind of go to whatever level you want and complete it at your leisure, right? It's not you beat level 1 and you go to level 2 type thing, like the last couple. So that's cool. But overall,
by the way, if I had to pick a team of that trio, definitely Grub. It's all about the food, guys.
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna go with Gear.
Okay.
Well, you're the odd man out, Ed. It's because Ed eats so much already. He's like, no, I'd pick Grub. Are you kidding? I want to eat.
Yeah.
Look, if you're going to be on a deserted island, I don't want to starve to death, okay? I want to, if I'm going to die, I'm going to die because I'm not equipped with the right equipment. I'm not I'm starving.
I don't want the sun to dry out my fruit or ruin it or something or get flies and stuff. I'd rather just I got some gear, so I got something to protect my skin.
Okay.
Uh,
Okay.
you know
You put way too much thought into this.
what?
Ah,
Yes!
Um, we got a release date for Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII Reunion. I'm kind of excited for it. December 13th. This seems to be the big December game for Nintendo. Uh, it's a prequel to the original Final Fantasy VII. Follows Zack, Sephiroth, and Cloud on their mission to kind of. I think they're in the soldier program. I don't know. I don't really know the entire story of Final Fantasy VII, to be honest. But this is kind of the story of Zack and why he's so important to Final Fantasy VII. Uh, I will be playing it because I actually really liked the PSP game.
I'll be getting it because I never got to play it because I didn't own the PSP.
same here.
Yeah, it's cool. It's really cool, and like the updated graphics and stuff they put a lot of work into this game. I'm shocked, but it's also available on everything else, I think. But this is where I play it. All right, where do we go from here? Where do we...
Tunic. Yeah.
Okay, yeah, Tunic. Yeah, Tunic is coming to Switch finally. The kind of Zelda, not Zelda inspired game because the creator swears it's not a Zelda game, but it looks like one. It acts like one. It kind of is one.
I feel like this is going to be the preferred platform to play it on.
Oh yeah, for sure. This is a death's door situation to me, right?
Yeah.
Where Xbox got it first, people liked it there, but then when the Switch version came out, everybody was like super excited for it, right? Like that's.
So I'm going to wait for this one so people get it because I need that. I need a turbo version of Tunic. I need that Fox to run because fighting that spider boss is difficult when he got that little knife, butter knife, swinging at the thing, and you that slow. That thing was a struggle to get through, and I'm like, no, you got to be quicker than this. So I'm going to wait for this one.
I'll definitely get it, but I'm getting a physical copy. I'm not pre-ordering it online. Getting a physical.
Yeah, if they do,
is it getting
I'll
one?
definitely buy it.
Is it getting one?
I don't know. I would just like to hope that if it made its way finally to Nintendo, it would come.
At this time, no physical. It's all eShop.
All right. Well, I'm just saying if there is one.
Gosh, Debbie Downer.
So Embracer Group get to talk to limited run or someone get talking to Embracer can't really get to talking, but someone get to talking to him about getting a physical. I wouldn't do limited run.
I mean, this seems like a game. This
improve.
seems like a game that would get one, right? It seems pretty popular to the point where people would get that. My opinion.
Who did Ori and the Blind Forest? Was that special reserve?
I don't know. I have no idea.
Good question, but I know Ori and the Blind Forest. There's a Switch physical edition out there. I got it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Man, that studio. Talk about a studio that went downhill super fast.
Oh yeah.
Well, let's see. So it might be limited run, but we also got super rare games.
Super rare. I got my Ori collection when they did Ori 2 for Switch, and they had that big box collection. I think Iron 8-Bit did it, so I could see Iron 8-Bit doing it.
There's also the one that comes with the plush, the Ori plush, that edition.
Yeah. Ooh, getting a Fox plush with the game.
There's also a Shovel Knight from the same company, which I really want, but I can't find it anywhere.
Can you imagine if Tunic was an amiibo? I'm sorry I keep on going on
No, that'd be cool though. I mean,
an amiibo kick, but
no,
I wouldn't be surprised. I would buy it.
I'm actually shocked with how little Nintendo has kind of put amiibo out this generation. Like ever since Breath of the Wild, there haven't really been any. Like there weren't even really any for Animal Crossing. Right? I think Splatoon and Mario Odyssey were like the only two games that really got amiibo, right? And obviously they're putting the Smash ones out, but like other than that, like where are the amiibo? You know?
Yeah.
Man, that Toys for Life thing just kind of took
fizzled out.
Yeah. Uh, let's see where do we go from here? Farming
Halloween
Simulator,
games.
1, 2,
Halloween
3.
games.
Halloween games.
Oh,
We got-
Fatal Frame.
Yep, we got Fatal Frame. We got the. Let's get this out of the way because it'll be quick. Cloud versions of Resident Evil 2, 3, 7, and 8.
Yay!
All cloud.
Okay, I would
Uh
say
oh.
this.
Look what you did.
I think I'm going to get Resident Evil Biohazard. I have it on Xbox, so I have all of these games on Xbox. I think I'm going to pick up the cloud version because I don't know how Capcom's cloud version is. I know that there wasn't that many complaints in Japan about it. I know people tried to do it here, like tried to do an import version, and it really wouldn't work. It was like kind of terrible. So I'm kind of interested to see what they're going to, how their cloud version is to give it a good try. And I think the Resident Evil 8 demo is out for it. So I might try to see how that goes. If there isn't in that many problems, I may pick up one of these games for cloud. How much is going to cost though? That's going to be the question. Because if they're
Well, they're going to be
$60
they're going to
for
be
these games,
$60.
Ugh,
To be fair, every cloud game comes with a demo though, which is nice.
Yeah.
okay.
I played Control on Switch, and actually Control played really well until it didn't. Right? Like that
Yes.
that was my big complaint. Was like Control played great until it didn't. And then it was like a disaster. You know. So cloud gaming, everybody. Just you've been warned, I guess.
I think I would try. I think I'm gonna try Resident Evil 8 Village, and if I do decide to get some of this stuff on Switch, the Capcom is always doing the sale on these games every week or every 2 weeks. You'll get a Resident Evil game for like $5 or something. You'll be like, dang, did this game just come out? So I think if I enjoy it, I think I'll wait for a sale and pick it up for like $20 or $30. I'm shocked that they're doing it though. So
Yeah. Well.
All right. How about some better Halloween games?
Yeah, let's do that. Stephanie, what are you thinking about, Stephanie?
Oh, I was just speaking. Well, I mean, there was Fatal Frame, but the big one, I guess, is Bayonetta 3. Not that like
right.
I'm going hard on that, but that's a big title that they.
yeah,
well,
yeah.
It's been announced already, but it's just a little bit more on it.
Yeah.
Ow, gosh.
A nice
was, like,
reminder.
A gameplay trailer that they released after. I'll admit I didn't watch it, but
I haven't watched it yet neither.
The one that they released after. I forgot that they did that.
Yeah, the gameplay.
Yeah.
Demo.
I mean, it looks like Bayonetta. I don't know, man. I want to like Bayonetta, but every time I just like see this one, I'm just like I'm concerned. I'm very concerned. The scale of the game. Yeah. Let's have monsters fight each other. Let's ride monsters like rocket ships up buildings. Like, I'm just very concerned. I'm concerned about Platinum in general because they just announced that Babylon's Fall was going offline in February. But like, this feels like a Hail Mary for Platinum, and I really hope it does well. I mean, I feel like it's going to do well because Bayonetta has a huge fan base and Switch has a huge install base. So I think it's going to do fine. But man, this game, man, it still looks rough. Like, it looks rough.
I'm excited for this game. I want to see what nonsense and what craziness they're going to that I'm going to be in. You know, I can't wait for the new combos, the new weapons, the new death animations. Like, I'm excited for this game. And I think people are worried about it because of the color palette and everything. But I think you have to really kind of be into games like these to kind of appreciate it for what there is. Because it's like if you got bored with Bayonetta 1, the Bayonetta 2 is not doing it for you or anything. Bayonetta 3 might not do anything for you. I think you really got to sit down and like learn that game and everything. Because I think that's what people did with Bayonetta 2. Like they sat down and they learned it. And as comedic as Bayonetta 2 was, it was just strong throughout the whole ordeal of that game. Even till you got to the end and everything. So I'm
Mm-hmm.
excited to play this. I can't wait to be beating up on enemies and being cheeky, having fun, and doing the craziest combos, and then seeing what everybody else do for their combos with this game. So,
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah. I mean, it's definitely going to be interesting. I hope it does well. I hope it does well. I'm just concerned. But yeah. Uh, Fatal Frame also, we didn't really talk about that. I don't really have any love for Fatal Frame. It does remind me, however, of Illbleed on Dreamcast every time I see a Fatal Frame game. But Ed, I know you're a Fatal Frame person.
I never played Fatal Frame, but I am buying this one because this one was the Wii one that never came to America. Uh, and I'm kind of noticing something different that Koei Tecmo is releasing a lot of these games. Uh, Even though Nintendo has a stake in them, they're releasing these games like on other platforms.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally wonder if Nintendo is allowing this to happen because they do have some say so on where the games go, and they're just probably just like, hey, put it out everywhere and let's collect the check from.
Well, my thing is
You
is
know,
that I think Nintendo probably is funding the Switch ports, and depending on how much money they give them, depends on how long this game is a Nintendo exclusive, right? Like that's what it is to me.
because this game is coming up to PS5 and PS4 too. So that's what I'm just like, because
Yeah.
the Waters of the Black
Maiden
Maiden,
of
Waters of
Maiden
Black
of
Blackwater.
Maiden.
Blackwater.
Yeah, that one went to PlayStation and I think Xbox, and I'm just like, this is a Wii U exclusive. Nintendo's allowed, but then when I think about it, Wonderful 101 went to everybody else also.
Yeah. Well,
So maybe,
yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I'm glad that
but
it's one of those series that you root for, I think, but I just never play because it's an interesting series, right? But
mhm.
um, yeah, so that's coming early 2023, I think they said. There's a lot of other smaller games here. Are there any that stick out to you before we kind of start wrapping up? I know the front mission remakes are a big deal to a lot of people in our community.
How
Oh
about
yeah,
Tales
I
of
already.
Symphonia?
Yeah, I was gonna get there. I
Oh,
was just
sorry.
Oh, I was going to mention Theater Rhythm, Final Bar Line. I'm so happy they are bringing this to Switch. There's a Rhythm is the Final Fantasy game where you kind of do like you hit different buttons and directions to the music, making the beat. So they're going to have over in total with like near live and other games over 500 songs
Mhm.
in this. And the last time this game has been on the Nintendo platform was the 3DS. So I think this is like the definitive version that they're bringing this game over. I want to see how they're doing it. I don't know if it's going to be touch only or if it's going to be buttons. I got to see how they're going to do. They're going to do the gameplay. But this was something way unexpected for Square Enix to bring to the Switch. I didn't expect them to bring it with them this series to the Switch.
Yeah, I've never played it. Not gonna lie to you, but I'm glad for people who want to play it.
Same.
Uh, I know we want to talk about Tales of Symphonia, but a game that I want to talk about is Factorio is coming to Switch. It's like a survival kind of you mine resources to kind of build up a way to rebuild your rocket ship to get off this planet. And it's just kind of like you go gather resources, you build like conveyor belts and mining equipment and trains to transfer things to other areas of the map. And Like it's just like this really relaxing kind of sim that I know a lot of PC players play, but I don't know if a lot of console players have really checked it out.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah, it's been out on PC for like 3 or 4 years actually.
Oh, I've never heard of it.
And yeah, it just looks super cool, super relaxing. It's meant to be relaxing. It's not like one of those hardcore resource gathering games, right? It's just one of those games that is super fun, super relaxing, and I am really, really into it. So,
yeah, I'll check the reviews out. It's nothing for me. It's just something that just doesn't grab my attention or anything. Not saying that it's gonna be a bad game. I think people are gonna enjoy it, but it's just not up my alley.
What about you, Stephanie? Oh, sorry.
Oh no.
Is there?
I was just saying, but I was just gonna say, but if I see it on sale, like for like $5.99 or something, I'll probably end up buying it. That's all.
Stephanie, are there any other games that stick out to you during this direct that we didn't talk about yet?
One is just a personal port that I was looking forward to, and I honestly didn't even think it was going to come to the Switch. Was Sifu. So it'll be fun to have that portable. And Ib, is it Ib?
Yeah, Ib.
So creepy. Like I love that, like hand drawn, eerie style where you're just like transported to like a horror version of the art gallery that you're in. I'm all for that. Like that really caught my eye. So Ib, Sifu, so I can take that handheld. See, I'm scrolling through a lot of farming sims. It's Ruin Factory, Story of Seasons, not my thing. People can go ham on that if they want.
A lot of farming sims on this list today.
A lot.
I think there's like 3 or 4.
Right. But I think those are kind of my other ones.
I had Master Ace Detective Rank Code from the development team who made Danganronpa. That one looked super cool. Radiant Silver Gun. Yes! This is the shoot 'em up from Treasure. The precursor to Ikaruga is out today, but I haven't picked it up because I was watching the PlayStation one and getting everything else ready. Out of that, yeah, Tales of Symphonia.
Yeah, I was kind of waiting to talk about that last because I think that's something that at least you and I are looking forward to.
Yeah, one last one. The Atelier Rizza 3, Alchemist of the End and the Secret Key. That looks interesting. I think I'm gonna jump into the series because I'm liking what they're offering for 3. It looks pretty good, so I might jump into 1 or 2 on Switch.
Yeah, it's that series is pretty popular, and I know Riza is like out of the 900 games that are in that series, Riza is like the one that everybody loves. So
okay,
because a new Atelier game comes out every like 4 months. So yeah. So the last game I guess would be Tales of Symphonia Remastered, the GameCube classic RPG.
Yes.
A lot of people love this game. I love this game. I think this is just a plain old port of the PS3 version. For the there was a PS3 collection of Symphonia, and then what was the second one called? Dawn of the New World, I think was the second one.
Yeah.
And yeah, man, I am just so excited for Tales of Symphonia. It's been so long since I played it. But if you like JRPGs, if you are a fan of the Tales games, if you just want a classic JRPG experience, this is the one to have. The only other one I would say that it's not on Switch yet, hopefully it will someday. The only other one I would say from the GameCube era that you would absolutely need to play is Skies of Arcadia. But the fact that we're getting Tales of Symphonia, everybody should be jumping up and down, right? It's just, love it.
I hit up so many people on Twitter about that, and everybody's just like, yeah, not. But then the discussion of Tales of Grace's F, which came to PlayStation 3, which is also a great Tales game. Everybody now wants that on Switch. A lot of people want the Tales games to come on the Switch platform, but Tales of Symphonia, man, the story, the fighting, it really, it's really the game that got a lot of people into the series, and it's not hard to get into. I have a feeling they'll probably do multiplayer or co-op because it is a 4-player game, but you can pretty much play it by yourself. And learning the combo systems of everybody, man, you could spend close to 100 hours in this game if you want to get everything and dig in. Plus, it has cooking. So you can
of course, cooking.
So, yeah, man, I told Corey the story that I rented this game from Blockbuster, beat the game within 5 days, and then went and bought the game for my GameCube, so I can have it.
It's an amazing game. I hope everybody gives it a shot. I hope they make a physical for this too, because that'll be one that I want.
Heck yeah. I'm thinking of double dipping on this one just to have a backup copy for it, just in case anything happens.
Yeah. Well, unless anybody wants to talk about anything else, I think we're going to wrap it here. For me, I think this was a very solid direct. I always look for like 3 or 4 things to be excited about in every direct. And if it hits 3 or 4 things for me, I think it's a success. I don't care what everybody else thinks, right? I know a lot of people were like mad on the internet today about it for some reason, but there's a lot in here for me specifically. I know we're all excited for a bunch of different things. So yeah, overall, I thought it was a good direct. I'm already excited for the next one.
Yes. Just to let everybody know, there was also the Japanese version of the direct. I didn't put it in the recap, but they showed off more of Overwatch, Persona 5, and Dorima. So those were just the only 3 that was in there. Everything else was pretty much the same. With it, I was just really shocked that they showed Overwatch 2 in Japan and not here in America.
Yeah, well, those characters will have some sort of fan base over there, I think. But also, the European version did not show Breath of the Wild at the end, or Tears of the Kingdom, because obviously the Queen passed away this past week, and Tears of the Kingdom is probably not the title you want to present a mourning country. So, little too on the nose.
I know they did it in the afternoon forum, but they just removed it completely.
Well,
from it.
Yeah, they removed it from the direct and just released it as a separate trailer.
Okay, that I didn't know. I thought they were just going to do the direct a little bit later for it. Oh, didn't know.
Yep. So, yeah, this has been the Direct Recap Show. I want to thank everybody for watching and or listening. Listen to Nintendo Pow Block every Wednesday. You can check out Expansion Pass and various other things from Nintendo Pow Block. Thank you, Ed. Thank you, Stephanie, for your time tonight. As always, we will catch you next time on the next Nintendo Direct Recap Show. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Bye, everybody.